This meeting to order. Call this meeting to order at 7:33 p.m. Members of the council, you have an agenda before you, special legislative meeting agenda. Are any changes? Well, this is longer than I thought it was going to be. Anyway, are there any changes required to the agenda?
None here, sir.
Okay, hearing no indications of need for changes. Are there any stated conflicts, any conflicts of interest that any members need to reveal for any items on the agenda for this evening?
No, sir.
Okay, fantastic. No amendments, no conflicts of interest. Can someone please give me a motion to approve the agenda as submitted?
So moved.
Second.
I think the motion was by Councilmember Foe, seconded by Councilmember Inyang. Please correct me if that's not correct. Any discussion of the motion to approve the agenda as submitted?
So moved.
It's already been moved. Councilmember Smith, you have a big delay on your audio connection there. Okay, I'll do a roll call vote. If there's any public comments on the motion to approve the agenda as submitted? Doesn't look like it. Roll call vote. Councilmember Smith.
Aye.
Councilmember Foe.
Aye.
Councilmember Lingua is not in attendance, apparently. Councilmember Inyang.
Aye.
Councilmember Mejia is not in attendance, apparently. Councilmember Fallon.
Aye.
And I abstain. The motion passes 4-0. Next item on the agenda is report of closed meeting held on July 1, 2024. The meeting was held via Zoom. Motion to close the meeting made by Councilmember Smith, seconded by Councilmember Inyang. Members voting in favor includes Councilmembers Smith, Lingua, Inyang, Mejia, and Kalan. None were opposed. I abstained, and Councilmember Foe was absent. And the statutory authority was General Provisions Article 3-305B1 to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of appointees, employees, or officials over whom this public body has jurisdiction, or any other personnel matter that affects one or more individuals. And what was actually discussed were possible changes in duties and responsibilities for a specific employee to meet anticipated needs with likely changes in the position of that employee. The only action taking was a motion to allow me to speak with Councilmember Foe about the content of the meeting. If you want to hear about that content, Councilmember Foe, please contact me. And that passed 4-0. Closed session adjourned at 10:36 p.m. And that concludes the report of closed meeting. Okay, are there any, moving on the agenda, are there any public comments? Are there any members of the public? Madison Hill HOA Board is a member of the public, I would trust, but any public comments? Seeing none, we'll move on to legislative action items. Legislative action item 1, motion to adopt ordinance 2024-OR-08 regarding multifamily building security amendments. May I please have such a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Foe, seconded by Councilmember Smith. Councilmember Fu, do you want to discuss, or would you like to have staff introduce the topic?
Mr. Mayor, the agenda disappeared on my screen.
That's because the legislation is going to be showing up instead. So the agenda disappeared and the legislation will be showing up. Councilmember Foe, do you wish to introduce the start discussion of this this legislation, or would you prefer that staff would brief the council?
I would prefer that staff
Okay,
briefly.
thank you. When we get through the technical issues and can see the legislation, appreciate staff starting that.
And I'll speak to it as Director Shelton's trying to have it up on the screen. So this is something that we brought to the council over the course of several meetings. And it's geared towards the multifamily housing and ensuring that what staff describe as some common sense requirements be imposed on all multifamily housing. This includes making sure the buildings are secured, making sure that the landscaping is not obstructing the exits, making sure that there's proper lighting, making sure there's working key fob type system or key system so people can get into the building, as well as that there be some sort of a remote access so someone doesn't have to descend 7 floors, for example, to let in a pizza delivery person. These are again, things that the staff view as basics and that are in many of our buildings, but we have a few multifamily buildings that are unsecured and don't have these various amenities, if you want to call them amenities, and these basic measures. I'll call them measures, these basic security measures. And so the recommendation is that the council adopt these changes to the town property maintenance code. Director Shelton, have I missed anything?
I don't believe so. No, I just wanted to reiterate that the neighborhood services staff did go out and conduct a survey and found that almost all of the multifamilies were already in compliance, but the few that weren't, they could easily become in compliance with some small modifications. So yes, I second whatever everything that the town manager said.
You're muted, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Town Manager. Is there discussion of the motion to adopt on the council, motion to adopt ordinance 2024-OR-08?
So moved.
It's already been, I believe it's already been moved and seconded. Yes, Councilmember Foe moved and it was.
I'm sorry, I thought you just called for motion
No,
to.
just discussion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So any questions or comments? Any discussion at all?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead, Councilmember Kellon. You spoke first. Go ahead.
Yeah, because when they said the multi-family houses they didn't have security, what type of security the town manager is talking about?
So your question, as I heard it, there's a little bit of audio, at least on my end, was what qualifies as a multifamily housing building?
Yeah, they say they didn't about security aspect. What type of security he is talking about for the multi-family houses?
So there's multiple pieces of it. You can see them on the screen now. So parking lot lighting, landscaping to prevent people from hiding near entrances, access controls that require key fob or similar device to enter, a remote access system so that when someone rings the front door or wants to come in, they can call you or ring the bell or ring you up, and you can remotely open the door so they can get in. Exterior lighting to make sure that there aren't any dark places that perpetrators might hide. Visitor and delivery entry, so just a variety of features. Does that answer?
Well, yeah, well, according to our own multifamily houses here, we have a lock and have a code, but nobody can do the code outside so that we can know, individual can know in their apartment. Just everybody have the key for the code. So when you can place your code, you come inside. But when you have visitors, you have to go right down and open the door for the person and come back. That's why we have here.
Okay.
So I don't know how they're going to do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Director Shelton or Mr. Town Manager, can you discuss how that feature might be added in Councilmember Kellon's building?
Yes, there are remote access systems that are easy to install that don't require a lot of wiring within the building. I think the most similar analogy or similar example I could give something like a Ring doorbell. So there's something like that, but for an entire multifamily property, and they have systems, excuse me, that are fixed to the front door, and so that visitors are able to call in or buzz in, similar to the Ring doorbell, and then depending on which door or unit they are calling into, the tenant will receive a notification on their mobile device. And so that's one of the simple ways to install a remote access system that doesn't require rewiring the entire multifamily property.
Does that answer your question, Councilmember Kellon?
And I hope you can do that. I'm happy to hear that. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Any additional council questions, comments, or discussion? I will just remark that these are modest changes, modest requirements, and I think in the environment that we live in now, both the ease of accessing technology and installing technology, and the importance of protecting our residents from criminal activity, that these all seem like very reasonable and appropriate things to require the property owners to install on their buildings. Okay, any additional council discussion? Any public comments? Apparently not, so we'll do a roll call vote. Councilmember Smith.
Aye, on time this time.
Councilmember Vo.
Aye.
Councilmember Lingua appears to still be absent. Councilmember Inyang.
Aye.
Councilmember Kellon.
Aye.
Councilmember, I skipped over Mejia, but she also appears to still be absent. I abstain. The motion passes 4-0. Moving along on the agenda, item 2, legislative action item 2, need a motion to authorize the town manager to sign an increase to the marathon contract by amount not to exceed $67,517 for the installation of cameras in 2 additional locations. This is CIP project number 20 PD01 neighborhood safety camera system. May I have such a motion?
So
So
moved.
moved.
I'll
Second.
take. Well, Councilmember Inyang had the motion. I was going to give the second to Councilmember Fo, who made the motion shortly thereafter. But please note in the minutes that Councilmember Kellon was a close third for seconding the motion. Okay, staff, can you please brief us on this item?
Yes, Newman?
Yes. Good evening, Mr. Mayor and council members. Staff seeks mayor and council authorization for the town manager to sign a change order that will increase the contractual agreement amount with Marathon Technology Solutions, Inc., our existing vendor, current vendor hereinafter referred to as Marathon. The increase will not exceed, is not expected to increase $67,517. Which includes a 15% contingency and will fund the installation of 4 new cameras at the 2 additional locations, Kennedy Street and 54 Place Tot Lot. This is part of the neighborhood safety camera program. These new installations at Kennedy Street and the 54 Place Tot Lot aims to enhance public safety. At the 54th Place Tot Lot, multiple cameras will be installed to ensure thorough coverage. The total cost of these installation is expected to be $58,711. This reflects a rise in cost from previous year, attributed to the increased prices of poles, materials, and also project management. The rise is particularly significant at Tot Lot, where the complexity of the installing 3 cameras necessitates coordination with the playground equipment vendor and the site development contractor during ongoing park construction. Additionally, the town has secured a maintenance pricing agreement with Marathon for 5 years. Staff recommends that the mayor and council authorize the town manager to sign a change order with Marathon Technology Solutions, Inc., not to exceed $67,517. This is within the approved budget. The total budget town has right now is $130,000, 726. Any questions?
Council, any questions or comments for Special Projects Coordinator Hayter?
Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead, Councilmember Inyang.
My first question was, were these cameras already part of a plan? And the additional funds are just to cover sort of like expected sort of camera installations, or are these sort of 4 new camera locations that the town identified that there's a pressing need for? This is my first question. And then my second was just around why these locations besides other places. And so those are my 2.
So if I can take a stab at this, and I shouldn't use that word. If I can answer it and then have staff supplement. So this was part of our plan, and this is what we talked to the council about during the budget process. The one on Kennedy Street covers an area that is commonly referred to as the Cut, and we have a significant amount of crime in that area. And then the other one, we have long planned with the installation of the Pocket Park and Tot Lot to have a camera there. And so these have been planned. We plan additional cameras as well. And I believe Niman said the total project budget's $130,000 is what we have available. And this is spending up to 67 of that. So we will be coming back to the council with additional camera locations, but these 2 locations were previously planned. I will add, the reason why I should not have used that word is that, as you'll read in the status and information report that'll be sent out tomorrow, and Chief, chime in if I miss this or get this wrong at all. But we just did have a stabbing, and it was our dispatcher who happened to see the stabbing occur on one of our neighborhood safety cameras, and we were able to dispatch the police and the medics. So the victim was treated, I think transported and treated, Rob. And did we make an arrest on that?
Yes, John, we did.
And did I have that correct, that it was our dispatcher who actually watched the stabbing occur?
That's correct. You had it correct. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for that report, Mr. Town Manager. Does that answer your questions, Councilmember Inyang?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, is Madison Hill HOA Board, I see your hand is up. We'll continue with council discussion, and I will recognize you after the council has a chance. Any additional council commentary, any questions?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Callan, go ahead.
Yeah. You see, since last year, I started commenting on this camera in this area, 54th Avenue, particularly in our building here. They breaking our cars and everything. Why Kennedy Street? I'm the one who brought this thing up. Why our own place is left without camera? Even last week, a lady here went to vacation. Before she came, they break her car. So I don't know. Mr. Town Manager, tell me something about that. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Town Manager, go ahead.
So the location is Kennedy Street at 54th Avenue. And it's to cover the paper street, that grassy area, and up into the cut where we have a problem with crime. In terms of cameras on private property, Mr. Shelton, can you ensure that we follow up with all the multifamily buildings in the area?
Absolutely, yes.
And let's make sure we follow up with our grant program. So council member, we have a grant program to assist multifamily buildings in putting cameras on private property. Our cameras are all on public property.
Okay, I hear you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the inquiry, sir.
Any additional council discussion of the motion to authorize the town manager to sign this contract? Increase the contract. Okay, Madison Hill HOA, if you can please identify yourself by name, I would appreciate that.
Of course. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Apologies for not changing my name in the system before now. My name is Evan Waxler. I live at 5800 Sora. Is there any other information that you need?
No, that's fantastic. Thank you.
Okay. I wanted to ask about what or where I could find the privacy policy and data retention policy that governs the video data that is collected by these and other cameras.
Mr. Town Manager?
Chief or Ivy, do either of you have that, or can we get that for the council and the resident?
Good evening. I don't have access to that information, Chief.
I can obtain it and get it for you. I don't have it
And
at my hands right now.
So as soon as you get it, we'll post it to the website, but we'll reach out to you as well, sir, and then we'll provide it to the council.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional council or public comments on the motion to authorize the town manager to sign an increase to the marathon contract? Seeing none, I will do a roll call vote. Councilmember Smith,
No.
Councilmember Foe,
Aye.
Councilmember Lingua is still absent. Councilmember Inyang,
Aye.
Councilmember Mejia is still absent. Councilmember Kellon.
Aye.
And I, in order to, this is a financial operation, so requires 4 affirmative votes. So to break the virtual tie, I will vote aye. Motion passes 4-1. Moving on the agenda, item 3, motion to send a letter to the Office of the Attorney General expressing concerns related to residential rental price fixing. Can staff please brief the council on this this topic?
Yes, so this is something that Mayor Thompson brought to my attention. I've done a little bit of reading about it. There are real estate firms, investment firms that offer their clients these algorithms that determine what rent increases should be. And there's 2 firms in particular that operate in Maryland. We know the one operates in Riverdale Park, that have faced both state and federal litigation, not in Maryland that I found, but in other states, for price fixing. And the mayor, like I said, brought this forward. It seems like a very legitimate concern. And we've drafted this letter. Should the council decide to have it sent, it's correspondence from the mayor to Attorney General Brown, encouraging him to look into this and to take whatever action that he deems appropriate.
Thank you, Mr. Town Manager. And this was just a topic that I know from speaking to residents that the rents have gone up substantially limited only by county rent control requirements. And the fact that RealPage may be recommending to the property owners exactly how much they can raise the rents without hurting themselves using data that is not generally shared between property owners. It just seemed like something we should ask the Attorney General's office to at least investigate. And so that is the genesis of this letter. That's where this letter came from. So does the council want to discuss, or can someone make a motion to send a letter to the office of the Attorney General expressing concerns relating to residential rental price fixing?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Foe, seconded by Councilmember Callan. Is there council discussion of this topic?
Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Inyang, go ahead.
Fully in support of this letter. I'm actually surprised that Attorney General Brown hasn't been included. I happen to actually have a conversation with Attorney General for DC Schwab at a christening last week, and we actually talked about this case and sort of the importance of it. And I assume that Maryland was sort of a part of this. I think it's technology gone awry, and sort of I think he described it as one of the preeminent antitrust cases, and so I would hope that this letter is sort of met with yep, we're fully aware of it, but in the event, I think it's worthwhile that we definitely send a letter like this. I know in DC there are 14 landlords mentioned, in addition to RealPage. Bozzuto Management was also one that was included, that I believe that I know that we have properties in Riverdale Park, but there was a list of 14. So I know we call out 2 here. It might be worthwhile at least looking at that letter from the DC and to see if there are other names that we should be entered into this, or whatever is appropriate.
Thank you, Councilmember Inyang. Mr. Town Manager, please go ahead.
Yes, in fairness to the Attorney General's office, I did reach out to their office and asked whether or not they were involved in any sort of investigation. And I got the response I thought I would get, and that is that they would neither confirm nor deny that they may be investigating this.
I wasn't sure whether I should say anything, and so I was holding back on that, but thank you for bringing up that interesting detail, Mr. Town Manager. Are there any additional council discussion of this before? Oh, we have a motion on the floor. Is there any additional council discussion of this motion?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Callan, go ahead.
I'm happy if the Attorney General can take action about this thing, because when we moved here 2016, our rent was like $1,285, everything included. But now we pay nearly $1,800, paying for water, paying for light, paying for gas. Then every year they increase the price. Every year they increase the price. We don't know what is going on, and that is not good for people. That will bring a revolution, because when people don't have money to pay, they can strike. That's why I see many homeless people in California, San Francisco, and other areas, even New York and Philadelphia. So let us see about this. This is very, very hard for people. Every year they increase the rent. Every year. Then now you're paying for water, an apartment, not a house. You're paying for light, paying for gas, you're paying for water. So I hope the Attorney General can sit down and see and solve this problem for people. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Councilmember Callan. Is there additional council discussion? Is there public comment? Well, I will just add, Councilmember Callan, I absolutely agree. And from from talking to residents of your ward and also Ward 5, then I've heard the same stories about rent increases, huge rent increases year to year, and shouldering of other costs onto the and it was we all know Councilmember Smith has particular interest in this, but we all know that housing is restricted. But the fact that landlords might be colluding and coordinating rent increases in order to insulate themselves from the free market was just bone chilling to me. And so I'm hopeful that that the Attorney General can look into this, and if there is illegal activity, that he will move swiftly to take these landlords to court and reverse these activities. So thank you for your comments. Any additional council or public comments on this topic? Hearing none, seeing no unmuted microphones, I will do a roll call vote. Councilmember Smith,
Aye.
Councilmember Foe,
Aye.
Councilmember Lingua,
Aye.
Councilmember Inyang,
Aye.
Councilmember Kellon,
Aye.
and I abstain. The motion passes 5-0. That moves us along to unfinished business on the agenda. Item number 1 under unfinished business is an update on acquisition of the council dais. Staff, please brief the council.
Yes, so we just wanted to give you an update this evening. Numan, if you can update us all on what you found.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and council members. I will be updating on the council dais design and procurement. No formal action is requested at this time. Staff seeks to update the mayor and council on the ongoing design and procurement efforts for the new council dais as part of the Municipal Center Renovation Project, CIP project number 18GG01. Just provide a bit of background. During the work session on October 30th, 2023, and the legislative meeting on July 1, 2024, the mayor and council outlined their preferences for a new council dais. Key features included a shade curved desk, ample outlets, and consideration for a bullet resistant panel. The progress, staff are leveraging the Sourcewell Purchasing Cooperative to expedite the procurement process with OFS, ensuring the project adheres to the tight timeline for the Municipal Center renovation project. Preliminary discussions with OFS indicate an estimated cost exceeding $20,000. Bullet resistant panels are currently cost prohibitive. Expected lead time for the dice is around 12 weeks. Next steps, staff will collaborate with OFS design professionals to finalize the dice specifications within the next 2 weeks. A formal request for approval of the design and associate costs is planned for the September 9th legislative meeting. Thanks.
And the only thing I would add is, in speaking with Director Lewis, we're still planning on having the municipal center completed. I spoke with the mayor. It looks like November, first week in November, we'll be able to be in the building. And so we won't have the dais desk there, but that doesn't mean that that the building won't be able to be used. So we'll have to figure that out, and we'll do whatever we can to speed this along. But I think it was good that Newmont found a contract to ride, and that certainly will help us speed this up.
Thank you very much for that briefing. As you said, there's no action anticipated tonight. Is there any council questions or comments on this report?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Inyang, go ahead.
for the bullet resistant panels being cost prohibitive, I'm curious if like the order of magnitude, is it cost prohibitive because they are like out of stock, like supply chain, or they are just way more than $20,000 for the dais, and sort of curious if that's known at this moment.
So preliminarily, the dais, the desk itself is going to cost probably about 30,000 to low 30s, and the bullet resistant panels would be 65,000. And so what we were hoping for is to get a desk design that can receive the bullet resistant panels, and we can budget for it in the upcoming fiscal year if that's the desire of the council.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Town Manager. Additional council questions or comments on, on this report? Are there any public questions or comments on this report? Councilmember Lingua, I see your microphone is unmuted. Do you have a question?
Just an observation, maybe something for us as a body to consider if, as is being said, that such an item is cost prohibitive, perhaps maybe it's something we consider going without.
Well, at the moment, then we are going to be going without, and so a question of whether to add that in later will be determined during the budget hearings next spring.
Okay.
This will simply be compatible with installing that by some future council, whether it's us or somebody 5 or 10 years from now. Then they should be able to install such panels should they desire to.
Okay.
Okay, any additional comments or questions on this report? Seeing none, let's move on the agenda to unfinished business. Next item is motion to authorize the town manager to sign an increase to the not to exceed amount of the DNF Construction Inc. contract from $341,699 to $429,545. Increase of $87,846. Staff, please let us know about this request.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Director Lewis is going to cover this. Good to note that unfinished item number 2 and 3 are related to the same project. Would you want Director Lewis to go through both, Mr. Mayor?
Please have her do that. Thank
Yes, Director Lewis.
Okay, as the town manager mentioned, first I should say good evening again, Mayor and council members. As the town manager mentioned, there are 2 items on your agenda related to the 54th Place Pocket Park. The first is, as the mayor recited, is the increase in the DNF construction contract to $429,545, an increase of $87,846. And the second item is an increase in the Mead and Hunt Task Order 5 contract to $102,680, an increase of $20,000. The increases are due to additional work required to ensure proper drainage at the site. The original design plan for the park proposed elevating the site above the existing grade to better direct stormwater runoff. But because the property is located within the county's floodplain, extended floodplain boundary, DPI requires the town to maintain the existing grade. This is necessitating deeper excavations across the site to prepare for development. In addition, the soil on the site is very compact and drains poorly, requiring a gravel base for the storage of stormwater until it can seep into the ground. These and related changes have increased the contractor's costs and requires changes to the engineer's design plan for the project. The staff has identified funds from the 47 to Taylor Linear Park to cover the contractor's increase of $82,846. That project has several complexities that will not permit it to move forward at this time, and completion will require significant grant funding. Staff will update the council on this project in November. The $20,000 change order for engineering services will be charged to the engineering services CIP budget. And with that, I'll take questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Lewis. Council members, are there questions before someone is willing to make a motion? Otherwise, someone is willing to make a motion at this time, please do so.
So moved.
Motion by Councilmember Foe. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Councilmember So, seconded by Councilmember Kellon. Okay, council members, do you have questions or comments on this motion? No questions or comments. Are there any public questions or comments on this motion? Councilmember Lengua, you're unmuted. You wish to speak?
Well, just for the comment that, I mean, this is a substantial increase and it's getting to be a hefty sum for this project, and hopefully, we aren't seeing, hopefully we're not seeing more of these down the road. I don't know if staff is aware of anything else they would like to share with us now or later about what could also possibly occur in terms of having to maybe do this again. Whether we want to talk about that now or later, that's up to the body.
Thank you, Councilmember Lengua. Any additional council or public comment? Mr. Town Manager, you wish to comment?
I was just going to ask Director Lewis, are you comfortable with these increases to be able to complete the project?
I definitely am comfortable with these numbers and where we stand on the project at this time. We anticipate breaking ground within the next 5 to 10 days. In fact, you may see some work there next week.
Thank you, Mr. Town Manager and Director Lewis. That's great news. Okay. Any additional council or public questions or comments on this, the motion to authorize the town manager to sign an increase as documented on the agenda? Seeing none, I will do a roll call vote. Councilmember Smith.
Aye.
Councilmember Foe.
Aye.
Councilmember Lengua.
Aye.
Councilmember Inyang.
Aye.
Councilmember Callan.
Aye.
And I abstain. The motion passes 5-0. Next item of unfinished business, item 3 is, as discussed, highly related to the motion just made. Motion to authorize the town manager to sign an increase to the not to exceed amount of the Mead and Hunt Task Order 5 contract from $82,680 to $102,680, an increase of $20,000. This is part of 54th Place Pocket Park and Tot Lot CIP Project 22 PW04. Can someone please make such a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Motion by Councilmember Lengua, seconded by Councilmember Foe. Is there any discussion of the motion by the council? Are there any public comments? Do a roll call vote. Councilmember Smith.
Aye.
Councilmember Foe.
Aye.
Councilmember Lengua.
Aye.
Councilmember Inyang.
Aye.
Councilmember Mejia is still absent. Councilmember Callan.
Aye.
And I abstain. The motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Okay, now we are to new business. And item number 1 under new business is a motion regarding a lump sum contribution to the defined benefits plan for fiscal year 2024 in the amount of $42,443. Staff briefing, please.
Yes, so Director Smith is going to walk us through this. The only thing I will add is as a intro comment, this is on this meeting agenda because we are closing out fiscal 24 by the end of the month. And if you wanted to do this, we would need a decision tonight. Mr. Smith.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Staff requests the Mayor and Council to approve a motion to make a lump sum contribution to the FY 2024 Defined Benefits Plan in the amount of $42,443. The town of Riverdale Park allocated $703,472 for the FY 2024 budget to cover the town's contribution to the defined benefit retirement plan. When formulating the actual budget, staff developed a projected defined benefit plan expenditure based on the actuarial determined contributions to ADC and the anticipated salary expense. In FY 2024, the budget expense was $703,400 $6,272. However, due to vacancy savings, the actual expenses were $661,029. The difference between the budget and the actual became part of the annual revenue net operating expenses. The defined benefit plan remains approximately 70% funded, with the long-term goal of achieving 85% funding. There's a variety of factors that influence the funding percentage of the plan. One of the most direct ways to improve the plan's funding is to pay more into the plan. As the FY 2024 net revenue operating expenses exceeds the budget projections by more than $42,443, staff recommend making a lump sum contribution to the plan in the amount of $42,443. Strengthening the plan is important to the town's objective and contributing to the budgeted amount when the calculated amount is lower directly furthers this goal. Staff envisions that an annual review of the plan expenditures and recommendation will be scheduled to coincide with the other end of year budget items each June.
Thank you, Director Smith. Council, do you have any questions you want to discuss, or is someone willing to make a motion at this time?
I'm willing to make a motion.
Second.
Okay, motion by Councilmember Lingua, seconded by Councilmember Smith. Is there discussion of the motion to make a fiscal year 2024 lump sum contribution to the defined benefit plan in the amount of $42,443? Councilmember Lingua, I see your mic is unmuted. Do you want to discuss, or does it just does your motion stand by itself?
Well, I'll just make the observation that I appreciate staff bringing this up at this time and in this way, because it's better for us as a body to be able to make these contributions now when they're somewhat more manageable than deferring this and pushing this off, at which point then it just becomes a much more substantial obligation for future councils.
Understood. Thank you for that comment. Okay, any public comments on the motion to make a fiscal year 2024 lump sum contribution to the defined benefit plan in the amount of $42,443? Do a roll call vote. Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Councilmember Foe?
Aye.
Councilmember Lingua?
Aye.
Councilmember Inyang?
Aye.
Councilmember Mejia is absent. Councilmember Callan?
Aye.
And I abstain. The motion passes 5-0. I'm going to ask if there are any other items of new business before moving to the next item, which is a motion to close business. Are there any items of new business from the council? Everyone seems to be pretty quiet. So as was sent to the council, there's a need to have a closed meeting to consider a matter that concerns the proposal for a business or industrial organization to locate, expand, or remain in the town. And also to consult with staff, consultants, or other individuals about pending or potential litigation. So may I please have a motion to move into closed session to discuss those topics related to those two exclusions or authorities to close the session under General Provisions Article 3-305B.
So moved.
Seconded.
Okay, please hold on. I need to get this into the meeting form, because if I don't, we get in trouble. So the motion was made by Councilmember Lingua and seconded by Councilmember Foe. Is there any discussion of the motion to close the meeting by the council? Are there any public comments on the motion to move to closed session?
May I ask a quick question, Mayor?
Of course, please go ahead.
Again, this is Evan Waxler. I noted that one of the things that you said that the closed session would be discussing was about a business choosing to enter, leave, et cetera, with regards to the county. That brings to mind certain things like the way that some municipalities will provide deals and things like that to entice businesses to stay. If that is something that our city does, is there a way to find out the content of those deals after they have been made?
Sometimes, Mr. Town Manager, do you have a comment on that?
Yes, so I would say this, that if there were a case where the town was putting together an attractive, a business attraction or retention package, some sort of incentive, the incentive itself would be voted on in public. Discussions about businesses locating or potentially expanding in town at times have to be discussed privately. And that's what we're suggesting this evening, because it's a confidential matter at this point. If there were something that the town was going to do in this case or in any case, the actual action would take place in public and would not take place in a private meeting.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for explaining the way that that process would work to me. I appreciate it.
Okay. Any additional council or public comments on the motion to move into closed session? Okay, I'll do a roll call vote. And I'm going to, again, move slowly because I need to get your names as you vote. Councilmember Smith.
Aye.
Councilmember Foe.
Aye.
Councilmember Lingua.
Aye.
Councilmember Inyang.
Aye.
Sorry, typing here, typos. Councilmember Kellon.
Aye.
And I will abstain. And Councilmember Mejia is absent. So we are entering closed session at, I'm trying to type this, and it's not letting me do it. I'll make it work. Entering closed session at 8:25 p.m.
Council member.
Director Barnes, can you also turn the live stream back on?
We're going to keep having these closed meetings. I need to get a PDF form of this this form. So I'd have to like just type text on top of it. It's a mess.
So we're now live streaming, Ms. Barnes. You're muted.
It's giving me an error. Just one moment. Oh, wait, nope, it's showing live streaming. Okay, we're okay. Sorry.
We have returned from our closed session and there are no items remaining under new business. Are there any items of new business? Seeing none, may I please have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Oh,
Motion by Councilmember Foe. I'm not sure who got the second there.
I think that was Councilmember Smith, wasn't it?
I think it was.
I think we motioned and seconded, so whatever the order should.
Yeah.
Okay, motion to adjourn by made by Councilmember Foe, seconded by Councilmember Smith. Move immediately to vote. Councilmember Smith.
Aye.
Councilmember Foe.
Aye.
Councilmember Lingua.
Aye.
Councilmember Inyang.
Aye.
Councilmember Mejia is absent. Councilmember Kellon.
Aye.
And I abstain. The motion passes 5-0. We are adjourned at 8:55 p.m. Thank you all very much. Enjoy the rest of the summer. And just as a reminder to everyone, I will be heading out to an overseas vacation, leaving a week from Saturday for 2 weeks. So please be nice to Councilmember Lingua while I'm out of town.
Mr. Mayor,
Saturday for 2 weeks.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I think Saturday I'm not going to available on this walk and talk. I'm going
Okay.
somewhere. All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay.
Good evening, everyone.